So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. You know, there's something that men don't seem to understand or at the very least not pay attention to when it comes to dealing with women. There's two distinct things that women are drawn to as far as the things that men can give them or the things that they can achieve in a relationship with a man. The first thing is the feeling of being pedestalized. And that feeling is irresistible to women because they are not internally wired to be served. They are, as a matter of fact, internally wired to serve. Servitude is her attitude, her given attitude, her natural attitude, her instinctive attitude. But then there's also the thrill of getting her socks knocked off and back blown out by some real off the chain, aggressive, deep stroking. Now, these two things, unfortunately, rarely come from the same man. So therein lies the dilemma. Because what men have to understand is that a woman is only going to do without one of these things if it isn't available to her. The very moment that thing becomes available to her, she is going to capitalize on whatever she needs to capitalize on in order to get that thing. But here's the issue. She's not going to let the other thing go. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Now, what you see in this short clip is the reality of women's struggle in a relationship because they want both of these things equally. They want them equally. It's not like one, they can get so much of one that they won't need the other. To the contrary, the more they get of one, the more they miss the other. So, contrary to popular belief, women aren't the ones delusional about this. They know they need both, and they know they can't get both from the same man. They know for a fact they can't get both of these from the same man because you have to be wired differently to give one than you have to be to give the other. A man who pedestalizes a woman and worships a woman is not going to, be savage when it comes to backbreaking. He is not. He's going to be loving and caring and gentle. And yes, that's good for every other facet of life. But deep down inside, what a woman wants when it comes to the backbreaking, she wants to have her back broken. That's just the reality of it. But men are the ones who believe that they can be everything a woman needs. I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. I'll give you the world. That's one man. Not once in that song, go listen to the song. Not once in that song did he talk about hair pulling, scratching, biting, folding into a pretzel, any of those things. Because that man who does not have the same mindset. Now, a man who says, come on and go with me. Come on over to my place. That's his first words to a woman. He meets a woman and says, forget all the other stuff. Come on and go with me. Come on over to my place. So we could do what? So we can close the door. And then we can do what? We can turn off the lights. You have to understand that women need both of these things. So with that in mind, you have to know that a woman rarely, if ever, is intimate with Mr. Softy. The after 7 guy always gets time and he's able to give her attention, all the things he wants to shower her with. Yes, she'll go and see if he'll climb a mountain. She'll watch him swim the sea. She'll go and see if he'll fly into the heavens to pluck a star out of the heavens for her. But what she won't do is when she get an itch that need to be scratched, call him. See, I keep telling you guys, there are two types of men in this world that women need. Now, are we talking about old school biblical times? No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about right now in this particular society. Women need two men. Now, should they have two men? I'm not going to say yay or nay because I frankly don't care. But what I'm saying is, in their minds, they think they need two men because they need both of these things. And in this society, they can get both of those things and not be shunned, not be shamed, and not be ostracized by it. Now, us as men, you try to do the same thing, and you're a dog. You're all of these things. And we live in a society where women have been told that now all of the things you think men have been doing, and all of the rights that men have had, you can have those rights now. So a woman who wants to have her back broke and a woman who wants to have her ego stroked, she is going to have both of those things. But I am telling you, find me the man who can give a woman both, and I'll find you a man who's not doing a very good job at giving a woman one of those. And women know that. So even if you're a man who's trying your best to give a woman both, one of those areas you're lacking and she's going to get it from somewhere else. So you have to understand things like the work husband are a necessary evil. If you're a man who's not that romantic, lovey-dovey type of guy, you have to understand that if your woman's at work, then she probably gonna have one of those guys, man. He might bring her lunch. He might take her to lunch. You understand? Who knows what he'll do. No, if you're a man who won't go down and get you a bowl of it, then if there's a man that will, then guess what? He probably getting him a bowl of it. Now, is that gonna lead to something else? More times than likely not. That's why when guys say, man, if you don't do this, I'll take your woman. No, you won't. She'll let you do that, but you can't take her with that. Because that's just one of the things she's missing. You understand? That's a part of the 20%. I'm the 80%. That's one of the things in the 20%. So yes, she'll enjoy it. But is that going to lead to other things for you? Probably not. And this is just the reality of what you have to understand when you're dealing with the modern woman. She is going to get what she wants. Now, whether you give it to her or not, it's something totally different. But the thing is, you can't give her everything. You can't be a woman's everything. And the modern woman feels like she deserves everything. She feels like everything that men get, she deserves it. She feels like if you want this, she gets that. She feels like if you say this, she says that. She feels like if you live this way, she lives that way. That's why women will take a man to divorce court, man, and try to get as much money as they can so they can continue to live the lifestyle that he was affording her only because she was his wife. The reality of life in this particular society is that you have two groups of women, you have two groups of men. You have the large group of women who feel like they should have all the rights that men have and be able to do whatever they want to do and not be held accountable for it, and no one should ostracize them or downplay their value because of all of those things. And then you have the smaller group of women who just want to be feminine and want a masculine man to lead them. They'll follow if you'll lead. Now, are they equipped to lead if they have to? Yes, they're equipped to lead their own lives if they don't have a man. But these women still know, I need a man. They can scrape by and survive without a man, but they can't live without a man. Those women are realistic because they know they can't live without a man. They can survive. Then there's a larger group of men who believe that they can just go around, freak as many women as they want to forever, as long as they live, and not have any effect on their psyche, on their physical man, on their spiritual being. They could just go around and do all of that. And then whatever woman they want is supposed to just come along and accept that, even though they're not masculine in other ways. And then you have that smaller group of men who pride themselves in their masculinity, their true masculinity, the essence of their masculinity, the essence of who they are as a man. That man who's going to lead because he's a leader, not because he just wants to be a woman's boss. That man who's going to provide because he has a family, not just because he's some trick. That man who's going to give a woman what she earns and what she deserves because it's only fair. Not that man who's going to take everything that a woman gives and give her nothing in return. Our goal is to push those two large groups to the side and develop an interaction between the two smaller groups who could actually come together and create the type of dynamic that God put us here to create. Don't believe that the average modern woman can be a part of the smaller group. Make her prove that she is. Because you as a man have to prove that you're a part of that smaller group as well. But in the meantime, always know that the majority of women need these two things. They need their ego stroked and they need their back broke. And you can only provide one of those things. Whichever one you provide, except the fact that another man is going to provide the other. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Trying to become the most alpha version of you. Striving to become the most alpha version of you. Fighting to become the most alpha version of you. Welcome to the alpha sphere. Get money division. The place where you transform into a man on a mission.